for Love and Hip Hop, Season 10, Episode 10, Lingerie Goes Left. It starts off with Jonathan. He's there with his nephew Derek and his sister. They're in some kind of arts and craft place. They're there, and he invites Yandy and Sin to meet up with him and his family there. So Yandy and Sim, they meet his nephew. He talks about how his nephew Derek has some kind of disease where his bones are basically mended together, which prevents him from being able to walk. So he's never been able to walk, since he's been, here on Earth. So that's a trying situation for any family or whatever. So apparently he's some kind of internet social media superstar. I guess he got some kind of like Instagram where a day in the life of him sort of thing. So Jonathan, he tells Yandy and Sin that, I guess since his nephew is such a like internet superstar or whatever, that some doctors reached out and they willing to do his surgeries to help him to make him be able to walk. But he need like over $100,000 in order for him to be able to get the surgery. So Jonathan said, but the only thing is, since he was on drugs and popping pills and doing the things that he was doing, he's not able to pay for the surgery. He don't have the money, and he being pretty hard on himself about that. He was like, because if he wasn't doing that, then his nephew would be able to have the surgery to walk. So Yandy, I will say this about Yandy. She do have a giving heart. You know what I'm saying? So she said to him, don't worry about it. We're going to do something to raise the money. Let's have a jump-a-thon. So they're going to raise the money. Well, the plan is to raise the money for him to be able to get the surgery. So let's see how this work out. Hopefully all goes well. Hopefully little, boy will be able to get his surgery so he can be up on his feet. Moving on, now we have Mama Jones and Jim Jones. They're at like a bar where Mama Jones do her little podcast, I'm assuming it is. It's called Cheers to Harlem. She got a nice little setup there. She had like a little crew there with her, so it ain't like no mom and pop type situation or whatever. So I was like, okay, Mama Jones, you stepping your little game up. So he was like, so he was talking about, like her doing that show. He was like, well, I don't know where she's going with her rap career. And they flash back with her, and I forgot the guy name when they was doing the song I'm Psychotic. Yo, I died laughing. I didn't remember how funny that shit was. If y'all seen the show tonight, y'all know what I'm talking about. That took me back. That made me laugh so hard. I could, I couldn't even contain myself. That's how I laughed how hard I laughed with that. I'm sorry. So she was asking him a couple questions because he did the show with her for her Cheers to Harlem. He did a segment with her. So after they cut the cameras, they were talking about things that was going on in their current situation in their life. So apparently, I remember seeing this on social media. Mama Jones' house had burned down. He said that they lost everything and the house couldn't be salvaged. So they end up burning the house. I mean, they end up, knocking the house down or whatever. So she has been in the hotel for like 2 years now. She was like, at first it was fun. She was like, I'm tired of it. She was like, I don't want to see no more swimming pools. I don't want to be no more jacuzzi. My hands are wrinkled. I'm like, oh my God, get Mama Jones out that goddamn house out that daggone hotel before she started a riot up in that damn thing. Y'all know she crazy as hell. So anyway, she said that she wanted the red door. So Jim Jones was like, well, I'm gonna check with the interior decorator to see if it matches the decor. So one thing he did not tell Mama Jones is this: Chrissy is the one who's going to be the interior decorator for her house. I don't know. See, men, I don't understand your logic in things. If you know there's tension between the two most important ladies in your life, why do y'all hide shit from them? You need to be you need to be honest from the jump so they can know where they stand in the beginning, because that's how problems erupt. Oh my God. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. They create their own storms. I'm telling you, they create them. Jim, when are you going to learn? When are you going to learn? You got Mama Jones and you got Chrissy. Two stubborn, pig-headed females. You better smarten up. You better smarten up. Moving on. We see Yandy. She got this pink Pepto-Bismol outfit on, meeting up with Olivia. They're outside. And for the life of me, I don't know why they filming outside. It looks like it's cold. I know they cold and they out there having this conversation. They need to go inside somewhere. But I'm not there. I don't know. Whatever. So, they catching up on things. Yandy noticed that she has a ring on. So Olivia said that she's engaged to, I forgot his name. He's someone that like to be behind the scenes anyway. I don't think he's famous, and if he is, he's not a person that like to be in front of the camera, because she stated that on the show. He like to play the background and let her be great, which sometimes that is better when you in a relationship. It's like a yin and yang type situation. So everybody don't need to be the star. You understand what I'm saying? That's what causes friction. So anyway, Yandy goes, so they catching up, and Olivia, wants to know what's going on in Yandy's life. So Yandy tell her that her and Kimbella isn't friends anymore. So, Olivia's like, for real? So Yandy started explaining to her why. She was telling her how, she's mad at her, but now she's friends with, Chrissy. So Olivia was like, well, like in her confession, she was like, that doesn't even make sense. You're not friends with Yandy, but you friends with Chrissy, the one who dog walks you. But I feel as though Olivia should have just shut the fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? Because you was just on there with Chrissy an episode ago, and Chrissy was already letting you know how she still wasn't feeling certain things that you said in the past. And then you still trying to, patch that situation up. You could have sat there and let Yandy talk, but you didn't have to give so much input in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, because we all know Chrissy petty, and I'm not saying that people got to tap dance around Chrissy, but what I am saying is, if you already know she said she still was feeling a tight way about how you did stuff 6-7 years ago, and then you get back on here saying that basically Kimbella shouldn't be mad at Yandy when you the one who, whooped her ass. Basically, that's what she was saying. I don't think it's going to sit around with Chrissy. And you obviously want a relationship with Chrissy, so I feel as though you should have just been an ear to listen, but not give too much input. That's my opinion. Now, if you don't give a fuck about what Chrissy say, you don't care about if she get mad, then do you. Say what you need to say. But I'm just going off the episode before this one, when you were trying to, rekindle that relationship. So, to each his own. I'm just a reviewer. I'm just a person that's look at the show. Anyway, so Olivia was saying to Yandy, well, it sounds like something that I'm going through with Rich. So she goes on to tell Yandy how Rich stole money from her, like $117,000. And Yandy doesn't want to believe it, because her and Rich are really good friends. And she said she never heard Rich do any ill dealings like that. So she was like, well, he did. So Yandy was like, well, you waited this long, to say something about it. She said, no, I tried to reach him. I emailed him. I called. I even got my lawyer to send, something to him. But he moved around so much, it's hard to catch up with him. And Yandy was like, You sure he didn't use that money for any expenses? For clothing, wardrobe, what the whole gambit that they used the money for. I forgot everything that she named. So she was like, no, he didn't use that money for that. He stole the money. And Yanni was like, I'm trying so hard not to believe it. She was like, but she coming with, facts or whatever. So she's adamant. Olivia is adamant that Rich stole from her. Now, I'm not too sure because Yandy is vouching for Rich, and then they teased in the last episode he was talking to his mom. So I guess we're gonna find out as this episode progresses. What's really going on with the situation, but I'm not so 100% convinced that Rich did her dirty. We'll see. So moving on, now we have Jonathan. He's sitting in like a coffee shop. He's waiting on Chrissy and Kimbella. Chrissy shows up first. She got this cute little black leather cap with like a little veil over it or whatever. It's really cute. So Jonathan like, not a black veil. She was like, it might be your funeral. I'm like, Chrissy, do you ever let your gangster down? Like, do you always got to be tough? Every time we see you, damn, show your little softer side, Chris. Like, damn. Anyway, she sits down, and now we have Kimbella. She comes in, and Jonathan's like, oh, you look cute, you look gorgeous, or something to that effect. And she was like always, but you already know she was being a little sarcastic because I think it was episode 1, he was like, oh, you look nice, and then when she was walking off, he was calling her tacky. You see what I'm saying? So it's like he always throwing like subliminal shade towards her. But to Jonathan's credit, Kimbella is a hot tacky mess. I'm sorry, she looks tacky majority of the time. So I'm with him when he be coming at her because she be looking a hot ass mess. Them too tight clothes on for her body type is just horrible. Anyway, so they're all sitting down, and he was saying how he didn't think that they would have actually met up with him from the last meeting. They both saying like, well, we didn't either, because she said Kimbella said the last time that we were in your presence, you wasn't that friendly. And that's when Chrissy said, yeah, you didn't seem like you had that much love for her when we were at your launch. It felt like you was on an attack. And he was like, well, I was very irate. I was very upset, and because of how he felt Kimbella delivered the news to Chrissy about what Yandy said. So he said she delivered like bits and pieces of the information. So Chrissy was like, well, she did say that it wouldn't happen if she was still managing Jim, correct? So they end up getting past that because Jonathan not going to go against Yandy. He's very uncomfortable. And if it wasn't for him needing them to help him raise money for his nephew, he probably wouldn't have been meeting with them two girls anyway, okay? That's my take on that. So he ended up telling them about his nephew who was born with, the disability, and he can't walk. And Yandy came up with the, jump-a-thon to raise money. So it seems like Kimbella is all in, but Christy's a little hesitant because she was like, I'm all for, my heart goes out to any kids that's born with disabilities, but I don't want to be in the same company as Yandy. It never ends well. And I know people might say she should have been the bigger person. I know people be like, it's for a bigger cause. But if somebody just disrupt your peace and you just can't stand to be around them and it always ends horribly, I think it was best that she stayed away because you don't want to go there and ruin such a good cause. You understand what I'm saying? She could have talked to Jonathan on the side and say, listen, my heart is with you and your family. I'm going to give you my donation, but I just can't be there. And talk to him, on the side and explain to him how he felt. And then I think he could have respect her in that moment. So I know people probably gonna be like, "Oh, Chrissy petty," but I do know how that is when somebody just disrupt your peace and you just can't stand the sight of them at the moment. And it's better you not be around them than you do go around them and shit pop off. So I'm with her on that. I'm with her on that. I think that was the mature thing for her to do. I really. Moving on from that, we have Rich. He's meeting up with his mother, who also is the person who keep his books. I guess she like his business manager or something like that. Even though Rich seemed to be a mama's boy, I do like him and his mother's relationship. They seem like they, like really tight, and it's good to see. So he goes to tell, his mom that he ran into Olivia at the studio. She was like, no. She was like, well, how long has it been? I think he said it was like 6 or 7 years since he's seen her. So he tells his mom that she's telling him that he owes her money for December. So his mom said, you don't owe her anything for December for anything. She owe you money. She was like, Olivia never paid for any bookings, no mixtapes. When they used to travel for events, she never paid anything. And Rich said that Olivia traveled around singing that song, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and give him nothing. That was her money. That was what she got paid off the song. He was like, he didn't, do her wrong, or, he don't owe her anything. So he said, and it's mighty funny that she started getting cool with Cisco, during the time like she was, separating from Rich. And his mom said, yeah, so that's when he figured out, I think that's when he figured out that Cisco might got something to do with Olivia thinking that he stole the money. Because then the mom, she seemed to know everything that's going on. So I don't know, Olivia, something ain't adding up. Now, you already know Cisco is a slime bag, and he can't stand Rich. So if he put that battery in your back, then I would have to really revisit this situation and really wonder if Rich really did slime you out, because wherever Cisco is, I don't really know, because he a piece of work. So moving on from that, we have the Jumpathon. They're at a gymnasium. It's full of people. Everybody seem to be having a good time, jumping, laughing. You got Sin, the usual suspects. Sin, you have Yandy, Jonathan, even Kimbella showed up with her children. And Samaya Reese. Y'all remember Samaya Reese from season 1? She popped her big behind up in there. And comes to find out, because she was like, the last time y'all see me, I was broke living in the attic, which she was, but she done glowed up. She said she started some slim tea line with $500, and it turned into like $1 million company. So I was like, oh girl, let me get into them profits, okay? Let me get into that. Help a sister out. So anyway, she comes in there with this little number on with heels. They was like, I know you're not about to jump in them. She was like, yeah. She get in that damn jump rope. She couldn't do nothing. I'm like, sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. So, Jonathan was trying to get Yandy and Kimbella to talk. And Kimbella was like, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. This, it's not the time and place for that. But Yandy was hip to Jonathan BS, so she wasn't going for it. But she did, talk to Kimbella's children and interact with the children or whatever like that. And I respected Yandy for that. She wasn't, fronting on the kids. And Kimbella didn't, stop her from interacting with the kids, because y'all not friends, that don't mean she didn't have a relationship with those children. So, the everybody shows up except Chrissy, and Jonathan was a little taken back by that. But like I said earlier, I hope that they'll be able to talk behind the scenes and get an understanding as to why Chrissy didn't want to come, didn't come. Yandy had a surprise for Jonathan, which he did not know, that the city of New York, I guess, yeah, the city of New York, the mayor, I think it was, they issued him a $5,000 check, which was great, you know what I mean, towards his goal. And Jonathan said they with the money that they raised, he'll be able to get his first two surgeries because they raised over 90 something $1,000. So, everybody's excited. I'm actually excited for him because I just hope the little boy be able to walk. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing. And regardless of how I feel about Jonathan, regardless of how I feel about Yandy, I do like their friendship, and I do like that they were willing to help and for a greater cause. And at the end of the day, the little boy hopefully will be walking. So kudos to them. At the end, when Jonathan gave his speech, that was okay. But when the little boy said he wanted to thank everyone and he wanted to thank God, but he don't know how to thank God, but he just know he feeling in his heart. I forgot all the words that he was saying, but oh my God, that touched me so much. I just wanted to cry. I'm like, God bless that little baby. Please bless that little baby. Oh my God, broke my heart. But it's amazing how like people born with like disabilities, how strong they are and how much endurance they have just to overcome the odds. Oh my goodness, it just touched my heart. But all is well in Jonathan's world. I think, the little boy is in, the right, taking the right steps in the right direction, no pun intended. And seems like, all is going to be. Now we, moving on from that, now we have Jim Jones and Chrissy. They're at the house. Um, Jim always have these big behind pit bulls, and the pit bull is a big baby. He's got his mouth all open, enjoying Jim rubbing and playing with him like a big old baby. That's why I say if you raise those pit bulls right, they not aggressive dogs. They ain't nothing but a big pile of soft. You know what I mean? So anyway, Chrissy was a little upset about not going to Jonathan Jumpathon. She was like, but she had to protect her peace. And like I said, I get that, because if your peace is interrupted, then it takes a while to get back centered. And the age that I am and the stage that I am in my life, I'm not letting anyone disrupt my peace. So I get it. So they start talking about how much work it took, to rebuild Mama Jones' house. Well, build a new house. They were talking about that. So she said she's exhausted about it. She said she went, by there a couple times and it don't even seem like it has progressed. So he was like, because she want to know when is he planning on doing the walkthrough. So he asks her if she's okay with him telling Mama Jones that she the one who designed the house. So she was like, well, it's up to you. It's your call. So I'm like, damn, they still got beef? Like, really? After all these years, y'all couldn't get it together? So the producer asked her something about Mama Jones. So she said where's the relationship at? Chrissy was like, well, there is no relationship. She's not happy for us, so I had to separate myself. I'm like, I'm starting to wonder, Chrissy, are you really a bitch? Because why nobody like you? Or people just don't like the fact that you stand up for yourself. Which one is it? Which one is it? Because it's too many people not fucking with you. Now, I understand Mama Jones, and she might just want her son to be a mama's boy, so you can't really, put too much stock in that. But it's other people. I'm like, I gotta see as the season progresses with Chrissy and see how many people that she actually friends with, because it ain't looking too good for her. It ain't looking too. Moving on from now we have Rich and Peter Guns. So they're in some kind of like cigar bar discussing, the Olivia situation. So, Rich is explaining to him how Olivia is saying that he stole, the money, and Cisco is basically like the common denominator in it. So, Peter was like, that's dirty. So in comes Cisco. There, Rich confronts him and asks him, basically did he tell Olivia that he stole money? And he denies it. Rich goes off. He was like, you snake me out when it come to Olivia. He was like, you act like I don't know that you took her to Universal to try to get some kind of publishing. He was like, well, I took her to a lot of different labels. He was like, I was calling myself trying to help a friend. He was like, she hit me up, trying to get back on. Rich was like, you didn't think that it wasn't, you didn't think twice to call and let me know what was going on, even because you met her through me and you knew she was my artist. Like, you didn't think that I deserved the phone call? And then, you putting something in her ear that's not true, far as basically like I'm stealing from him, which is not true. So he's adamant that he didn't tell her that. He's adamant about it. He said he didn't do it. But Peter, he interjected and was like, you don't think that was wrong, something? And so Cisco was saying, see, that's the problem that I have with you. You always want to mediate things, but every time something go left, you always want to take Rich side. I'm like, oh my goodness. Rich was so goddamn mad at Cisco. His damn bottom lip started hanging. I was like, that motherfucking man. That jaw started hanging for flapping, side to side. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, Cisco, he's, like I said, he's adamant that he didn't do anything, far as, sliming him out by, telling Olivia that he stole money. But he did apologize for, not letting him know about certain things. Like I said, Cisco adamant about it, so they agreed to get Olivia in the room with the both of them and figure out where is this coming from. Because Rich saying, one thing I'm not is no thief, and you're not going to discredit me like that. And I get that, because once people start thinking that you doing shiesty business and stuff like that, nobody's going to want to work with you. So he got to clear this shit up. He got to clear it up. So we'll see how this going to go. And I'm like, oh, they got the creep squad back together. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of missed that little group together. So hopefully they keep on as the series progress, because I do miss them. Even though they were a bunch of creeps, I miss them on the show. If Yandy, Sin, and Jonathan, they all dressed in this lingerie. They enter this hotel suite. So Jonathan decides to, throw everyone like a little slumber party in thanks of them helping out with the Jumpathon. So everybody is to come, and they in the sexy lingerie. So we have them now. Samaya Reese, she enters the room. They laughing and joking. She made like a little comment, talk about, do you got a strap on? Because that's the only, basically that's the only peen she know how to use right about now. And everybody just laughing and joking and stuff like that. Because Jonathan said, word on the street, she know her way around a lady pawn. But she's been, gay. She was, I know she have dealt with men in the past, but I know recent she was going with Lady Luck. I'm not sure if they still together, but they were in a committed relationship. So that's no secret, So anyway, they all laughing and joking, and Campella shows up. And she says she came because her and Jonathan really, had a good time when she came to the Jumpathon. So she, wanted to keep, that same energy going. So she said she knew Yandy was going to be there, but she wasn't too concerned about that. So then they do like this little game of, I think it was like Truth or Dare or something like that. So Samaya started it off. See, this is the stuff that gets on my nerves with these goddamn shows. Because if Samaya is supposed to be the most neutral as one, why would she ask the question? I think it was to Yandy. Yeah, it was to Yandy. Do you have any problems with anybody in the room? So, of course, that's going to trigger the person you have problems with. So now Kimbella is all in her feelings. She start yelling and explaining why she don't fuck with Yandy. And it's all going back to when Chrissy whooped her ass. And I ain't gonna lie, that was a beatdown. That's embarrassing. You probably never recover from getting your ass beat like the way she got beat on national television. And she never recovered from that, because it's not like she had a second round with Chrissy and got in Chrissy's ass. You took the L and that was it. See, that's where you messed up at, because you're not comfortable with taking that loss. You should have came for Chrissy again, but you didn't want to get beat up twice. So you stopped before you embarrassed yourself even more. So she basically was saying to Yandy, like, I would never had did that to you if that was the shoe was on the other feet. I would have, jumped in. I would have, had your back. You didn't do nothing. So Yandy was like, that's not true. I did. So Samaya Reese was like, Yandy did try to, break it up or, intervene. So, Kimbella like, fuck all that. I would have never did that to you. She was like, that's why you call me when you get into stuff, because I'm gonna have your back and you didn't have, my back. So Yandy was like, well, why is she showing such, so you mean to tell me, because she said she was mad because Yandy had mentioned that Kimbella got beat up. She was like, why are you so mad? Why is she so mad at me for just mentioning it, but you're not mad at the person who actually dog walked your ass and kicked you in the punani, in the face, and had your whole punani showing for the world. You're friends with her, but you're mad because I said it. Like, that, make it make sense. So Yandy, she wasn't really like, on 10, like how Kimbella was like real disrespectful. She was all up in her face. She was all up in her face. And I'm like, Yandy got more patience than me, because I would already knock the shit out of Kimbella at that particular point. So Kimbella ended up throwing a drink at Yandy. That's when Sam was like, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to do it. There's no need for us to get aggressive with one another. There's no need for us to. So Kimbella was like, listen, I ain't trying to hear all that, Sin. So she said a few little things to Sin or whatever like that. Next thing you know, Yandy tried to lunge over there at Kimbella. And I was like, oh, Yandy, you getting a little tough. You getting a little tough, Yandy? Or did you do that because the security guards was right there? Which one is it? So Kimbella like, let me go. So I will hope it would not be a repeat of Kimbella getting her ass beat on national TV, but I don't know who my money on, because I don't really got Yandy for no fighter either. So I would have to see it to believe it. I don't know, but I hope Yandy didn't do it for the cameras. I hope she really about that, because my thing is, keep that same energy when the security not there, boo boo. That's all I got to say. Keep that same energy, because y'all could have went home once the taping was done and do what y'all had to do. That's all for real. Like, come on, y'all. Evidently, there's so much aggression built up. Maybe y'all need to go out there and get that shit off your chest. Well, that's all I got for this episode. I hope you guys like the content. If you do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell and holla at your girl.